Hello there and welcome to some Crusader Kings 3 with the Game of Thrones mod. This here is a short video just to showcase some houses where I think you can have a fun playthrough and why. First house I'd like to highlight is the house Winewood. Now this house you can play either in the Crowned Stag or Robert's Rebellion, and the goal of this campaign is to use wealth and intrigue to try and plant yourselves in charge of Winterfell, because you are the foreign heirs. If the Starks were to die out, you come before the Karstarks. This is why I think this would be an interesting campaign. If you can get rid of the Starks, come in as a foreign power and subdue the Northerners to your southern way with your Faith of the Seven religion, and try and make the North a more modern society. That's what I think anyway. The next house I would like to showcase is House Blackwood, where you start in the Riverlands with a big old feisty rivalry with the Brackens. I've done a playthrough campaign of this house and I found it very enjoyable. You have many areas you can expand your own power. You have Fairmarket, Brandstone, you even have the minor lords around here. And you can use all of this strength to take out your foes in House Bracken. Either wipe them from the face of the earth or simply subjugate them to be your vassals. Either way, it is a fun campaign where you can focus house on house to have a bit of a rivalry, and maybe even take over the Lord Paramountcy of the Riverlands if you did so wish. This house here, the House of Velaryon, I think can make a very fun campaign for different reasons. In this campaign, what I would try to do is gain strength, maybe even kick Stannis out of Dragonstone, and then use this newfound power to either support the Targaryen invasion or to put Velaryon culture back on the throne yourselves. You can take either direction, try and support the Targaryens in their invasion, or try and be a bit more greedy and ambitious yourself. Lord Montfort is a prominent character in the novels, and so this is a man who you might be able to try and role play as well. But I personally think trying to play this other way and trying to gain some power in the region would be a much more fun way to do it. The next house I want to showcase is House Selmy, down here in the Marches. Now the reason I want to highlight this house is because they're right in the middle of all the Marcher Lords, which is set by culture here. We of course have some Marcher Lords over in the Reach. But the idea I have for a campaign is to try and unite all of these lords and use this power base to either invade into Dawn, your ancient enemy, or even liberate some of your brethren in the Reach to create your own strong region. And with this strong region uniting the Marcher Lords, you can then oppress the Stormlanders and make yourselves the more dominant people within the kingdom. I chose House Selmy as the house to highlight in this region, but there are many you could do. There are the Dondarrions, of course, there are the Karens, and even the Tarleys. But I think the Selmys, with their position right in the middle, gives them the edge for me, for why I would choose them to do this sort of playthrough in the region. Another house that I have previously done a campaign of myself is the House of Ironwood. Now with this house you can try to take over Dawn or even the Westerlands. But the reason I like this house is they start with a very strong power base and they're surrounded by weaker houses where you can go in either direction and try and become a powerful lord of over this area and then try to butt heads with the Marcher Lords of the opposite of the previous campaign I mentioned, or you can ally the Marcher Lords to try and get them to help you against their ancient enemies, the houses of Stoneway and the houses of the Red March and the Prince's Pass. Or you can go in the other direction and take some more land down here in the desert and try to replace the Martells. Or you can do both. There's a lot of possibility here, and I really did enjoy a campaign I did personally with this house here. Up next is the House of Florence. This house starts with a claim on the Reach. And we know how badly they want it. So you do start in a much weaker position compared to your target. But if you were to get some decent alliances, maybe make a big family, get loads of marriages going on, you might be able to create quite the civil war in the Reach and take your birthright from the upstart House of Tyrell. There's also the possibility of taking over these minor islands around here and expanding perhaps down into the Black Bar lands. But I like the idea of going through the alliance route to try and overpower the Tyrells in their own region, to get them out of your land and let the flag of the Fox reign supreme over Highgarden. The last house I would like to showcase in this video is the House of Banefort, and the reason I chose this house is because they have a very interesting position here. You have two weaker neighbours either side whose lands you can eat into, and using this power base you could actually go to war with the Iron Isles. The Iron Isles aren't that strong. If you were to unify these lands here, develop them up well, get a couple of decent alliances, you would be able to take them on, and you could slowly but surely take over these islands and replace the natives with your Westerman culture. It is a very strong base. You do have a few castles straight away. If you get your heir to have a wife of high stewardship skill, you can maybe hold on to 4 or 5 castles in the region. Gain lots of wealth from being in the Westerlands, and then create quite a bit of power. I don't think the Iron Isles will be able to hold you back if you were to try and expand here, and maybe even create or usurp the Lord Paramountcy here and rule both this region and this region. I think it's a very intriguing potential campaign for a long-term playthrough if you have the patience for it. But that'll do for this episode. I just wanted to highlight a few different houses I have looked at when personally I've been looking to start a new series. Of course, the Blackwood and the Ironwood campaigns I have already done, and they will be linked down below if you do wish to check them out. But for now, this is all I wanted to showcase. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some good ideas, and if you have others yourself, let me know down below, because I'm always thinking of more campaigns I can do in this game, but also other commenters might see these, and your idea might be something terrific which none of us have ever thought of. So thank you again for watching. I do hope you learned something from this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.